YouTube, you're watching Drone Dude, and today I'm going to be reviewing one of my favorite quadcopters of all time, the Blade Inductrix. So guys, let's go ahead and get into this review. Alright guys, so basically what the Inductrix is a very small ducted fan quadcopter, and it is basically a Spectrum compatible quadcopter as well. So this particular model comes in two different kinds. They have the bind and fly model, which basically you provide your own radio. In this case, I'm using the brand new DX9 Black Edition for this particular model. However, the ready to fly version is $69.99, and it comes with the transmitter, just a basic transmitter, and the quadcopter. Now, what you get in the box is basically you get one battery, you get a USB charger, and you get two canopies, so you can have it in blue or you can have it in red, like I have here. The bind and fly model is only $49.99, and it comes in a box like this, and obviously you don't have too much packaging, but you still have all of the same equipment minus the remote controller in the box. So guys, let's go ahead and start on a pretty important topic regarding kind of maybe your first drone or something similar. Is durability. You want something that is going to last you a few flights and definitely a lot of crashes, and this is no exception. So basically the way this is designed is it is a ducted fan quadcopter, meaning it has ducts or basically oval shaped plastic pieces around the motors that keep the motors actually contained and actually push air downward in a contained space. So it makes it a little bit more efficient. But it also protects the blades in every single direction. I have never broken a prop on this particular model, and I can't say that for just about any of my other hobby grade models. So that is a really nice thing. It has that protection already integrated into the design. Now this model also has the advantage, because it is very small, it uses small and very cheap batteries. These are the E-Flight 150 milliamp 3.7 volt batteries, and you can use 25C, or if you want a little bit more power you can also use the 45C batteries, but you get actually a lot of power with the 25C, so I usually run that in the Inductrix. And the batteries only take like 20 minutes to charge, and I think they're like $5.99 depending on if you get the 45C or the 25C. There's a little bit of a price difference, but not too much. So I have like 5 batteries here for these models. So let's shift over the topic to flight performance. So that is another huge thing about these quadcopters, is how they perform. I sell a lot of these at the hobby shop that I work at, and you know, I see people who are just interested in getting into drones, and they see this thing and they're like, oh, it's so small, I don't want something small, right? And they see the Proto X, which I'm sure you guys have seen or are familiar with, which is you know, I think 40 or 50 bucks cheaper than the ready to fly version of this, and they think, well, you know, it's small too, and it's so much cheaper, right? And then they think that, and then until I try to fly it and show them how it actually performs, they do usually change their minds. Basically, it is extremely stable because of the ducted fan design when you're just hovering there. I can literally precision hover this like it's in GPS mode. Even hands off the sticks occasionally, I can get it just to stay there. So when I show people how easy it is to hover, that, you know, usually people think that's pretty cool, but it's not until I really start showing how much movement you can actually get out of this small little thing that people really start to think it's really cool. So I'll be showing you guys a series of clips showing how precise you can be with this model, while also being very technical and also moving very quick with it. So here's that little compilation now. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that little clip. But basically, one thing I'm going to say is all blades pretty much fly the same. They all are very precise on the controls, so they all respond very well to your stick input. Unlike a lot of the cheaper models, especially the cheaper ones that I've reviewed, especially on the yaw axis, they often are either very sensitive or not sensitive enough. With this, you can really be precise with the movement that you get out of it. And obviously using a controller like this helps as well, but the controller that comes with the Ready to Fly version works very well as well. So one thing I've really found that people like about this particular model is not just the flight performance and how durable it is, but also the fact that if you do break apart, it's very easy and often very cheap to replace. I think the motors are like $10, and the frame is very cheap as well. I've had to replace a couple motors. That's from some serious smashing around the hobby shop when I'm trying to fly through things and show it to people. Accidents do happen, but you know, it survives very well. And the motors are literally plug-in motors, so you just take the motor out and put a new one in. But here's a story that I have regarding this model and working at the hobby shop. Is actually I had somebody come in who bought one of these for their 7-year-old. I've never seen one as beaten up as the one that he brought in. But he brought it in and there were grass stains all over it on the props. I mean, I didn't even know you could do that, but it was all functioning perfectly fine. The only thing that had broken was the frame, and they actually had completely dislodged one of the motor mounts here, and those unfortunately are the most breakable part on this, but fortunately it's easy to replace the frame. So I went ahead and they actually told me they contacted Horizon Hobby, and Horizon Hobby sent them a new frame even though it was completely their fault for smashing it up. So I thought that was really interesting. That's another testament to Horizon Hobby's support. It's very, very good. But anyway, I replaced I basically took all the components out and put them on the frame in about 20 minutes, maybe 15, and it was not difficult at all. I had fun, and it was back and flying perfectly fine. So obviously, if you have one of these controllers, the Spectrum range, you know that you could program different rates into the particular model to make it fly how you want it to fly. The other cool thing is you can actually set up a switch on the controller to put the quadcopter into manual mode. And what manual mode does is basically turns off all of the bank limits of the quadcopter. And so when I push over on the stick, what normally happens on a quadcopter that is a standard kind of level quadcopter is you push over the stick, and then when you let go of the stick, the quadcopter will level out. But with the more advanced modes like manual mode, basically you push over on the stick and the quadcopter will keep going in that direction for as long as you hold the stick over. So if you really wanted to, you could do a flip with it. Now it makes the flying a lot harder, but that's a cool thing about having one of these remote controllers with this particular model, is you can learn to fly in manual mode without risking an expensive model like you know, a 200QX or something like that. The Inductrix works in manual mode as well. So as a lot of my common viewers know, I fly a lot of bigger quadcopters like the DJI Inspire 1, Phantom 3. I fly a lot of 250 racing quadcopters. I fly pretty much everything, planes, helicopters. And for me, it's really nice to go back to the basics sometime. This is, I mean, very easy to fly. I mean, it's very basic. It's beginner level, and that's what it's aimed at. But it's so well built, and it flies so well, it actually is fun for me to fly. Unlike a lot of the you know, cheaper Chinese quadcopters and things I get to review, this is actually a lot of fun. So guys, if you have a nice controller like this, if you have a Spectrum controller, I encourage you guys to go out and try this model out. You'll be happy you did. But if you guys are also looking into getting into the hobby, or even just looking for something fun to play around with, something very basic, durable, and flies really well, the Ready to Fly model of this is just awesome. I'll go ahead and provide a link in the description to both models for you guys. But I want to thank you guys very much for watching. So everybody, one last thing, I am going to start up a kind of a donation thing. PayPal wise, so I'm just gonna have like a PayPal email. If you guys feel inclined to donate anything to it, that'd be greatly appreciated. I'm really trying to save it for the unique Typhoon H, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard about. It would be really cool. I'd add it to my filming multi-rotor collection, and I'd make a review and obviously shoot aerial film with it. So I'll have a basically email in the description of the video. The email's lewis.drum32@gmail.com. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching and take care.